There it is. All right. I'm telling you, every time I hit go live, there's like a different period of time it takes before it's like, now you're live. So I used to just start talking before and then realize I was like mid sentence by the time it would like go live. So now I just kind of sit here and I'm like, oh, oh, hey, there you are. That old chestnut, when people used to do that, like it was a thing. Um, what's going on, man? It's Monday, you guys. So far, eh, eh, I have live streamed like every day except for Friday since I started doing this 3 days ago. So yay me. Thank you for joining me. Otherwise, I'm not turning up, you know. Um, but yeah, it's live. So what? Monday, right? What everybody do over the weekend? I had a very mellow weekend. I did mad amounts of yard work. I did a bit of cooking, and I think that's most of it. It was like yard work and cooking, and I read a book. It was actually super relaxing for a change this weekend. Hey, Mandy, did you guys do yard work too? Oh, speaking of books, I am curious about the murder book you got. Or it's not murder, is it? It's crimes. It's like Crimes in Fairfield. I want to hear more about that book that Tony Wade wrote. Tony profiled me actually in the Daily Republic. I think you saw it. I think we commented each other on that post. And it was so funny because I remember my mom just said last weekend, she was like, oh, because I told her I also did a podcast with my friend Steph, which went live today. If anybody has a chance to watch it, please do. If anybody wants to know my whole journey in radio, I'll tell you what, she and I kind of like went through it. I mean, sure, there were some stories I didn't tell, but not a lot. Oh man, yeah, we really went deep into the radio world. Yeah, so my mom was like, "Oh, was she interviewing you because she saw Tony's column?" And I was like, "Mom, nobody saw the Daily Republic." Except for probably you, Mandy, and your mom, right? Because that's how we still get like the news. Oh, but you probably get the Vacaville Reporter, huh? Keith, you saw Dawkins this weekend? How's Don Dawkins sounding? I love the guy, but he's you know what? I'll take that back. He put on one of the most horrible shows I've ever seen at the fairgrounds in Vallejo. And then he was actually really good when I saw him opening for Y&T doing an acoustic thing. Sorry, hold on. I'm literally on a live stream right now. But do not go in search of an active shooter. I'm not going to explain that. Sorry. You can all wonder. Sorry. But yeah, so Don Dawkins does a lot better with the whole what would you call it? The storytellers format, right? Remember VH1 storytellers where he's like a dude in a rocking chair with a guitar? Because that's basically what it felt like when he was at the Vallejo Fairgrounds, except he had like a rock band around him. It was all like a bunch of young guys who were like running around playing Dawkins songs and being like, ah! And Don just being like unable to keep up. But when he sits down with an acoustic, it's actually really nice. Keith, you thought it felt old. Mandy, you're trying to lay a patio? Ooh, snap. I am trying to like get my garden off the ground, but I think I told everybody that like right when I was going to upgrade whatever my drip system, all my watering, the stuff that needs to happen every morning when I cannot possibly get up to do it. when we were in the process of on the verge of upgrading it, we found this massive leak. And oh, that reminds me, I still have to like do something with that. But yeah, so that diverted everything until we could get the leak found and fixed. And then once we did that, I say we like I got a mouse in my pocket. Once I had that done, the we is my bestie, who's my contractor, who I would not have a house standing without. And so because he's one of my really good friends, I'm always waiting on the bro deal. And when you wait on the bro deal, you just wait. And so I'm currently in a waiting pattern to either upgrade the watering system or upgrade the electrical panel or install the air conditioning splitters. This is home ownership, man. It is not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. But I think I mentioned last week that like we made bonus. So I'm definitely getting one of those things done, at least one. Yeah. Keith, the band sounded good. How did Don sound? Did Don sound okay? I mean, I've been worried about him health-wise lately. It was good seeing you, Mike. Defiance opening for everybody at the DNA. Nefarious was like super fun and fantastic. And Hellfire headlining. I felt a little bad for Hellfire because I think the old folks like came upstairs to have a little chitty chat. You know, there was like a backstage kind of party going on with all of us elder metalheads, you know, while Hellfire was on. I mean, I felt bad for them because they deserved better. I didn't feel bad in general because I have seen them many times and I will support them again in the future. But it's a rare occasion that all the old people come out at once. But we did, right? Mandy, the patio is going slow. Yeah, leaks are so bad, right? I mean, you know what's funny? I looked at my water bill after we fixed the leak, right? You would think it would go way down, and it did. It went down somewhat, but my water usage went down by half, and my water bill went down by like a third. And I was like, huh, how's that work, Contra Costa Water District? But I only have time to look into one thing at a time. And today that thing was Hulu. So this is funny because everyone knows I'm super cheap, right? Like if Lamont and I could go head to head on who can save $1 better for real. And so I got this offer in my emails that was like, add Showtime and Paramount Plus to your Hulu account for 99 cents for the first 2 months. And if you know me, you know, I will absolutely do that and then cancel after 2 months because I got that kind of time. And so I added it. And then I got my notification today where they were like, here's your bill. And they charged me $12.99 for the add-on. And I was like, what the? So I tried to go on the chat to be like, you need to fix this. And the chat was like, unavailable. Think I won't call on the phone? I will call on the phone like it's the 80s, which is what I did. And that poor girl was on the phone with me. I'm not kidding you. I'm going to look and see exactly how long it was because it was nuts how long we were on the phone with this. Let's see, recent calls. Today. 1 hour. What does it say? 1 hour and 3 minutes. I was on the phone with Hulu for 1 hour and 3 minutes to get credited back $5.41 that they prorate charged me for the first month of my 99-cent service. And now I have to call back in a couple of days because the $12.99 that they just charged me hasn't posted yet. But think I won't. But it took 1 hour for them to figure this out because apparently me getting that email was a glitch. And she was like, yeah, I've researched your claim and it looks like we don't have that offer that you're talking about. And I was like, the F you don't. I'm looking right at it. I saved that email because I know how you people work. And she was like, oh, can you forward that email? I was like, not a problem. Boom. And then she's like, oh, okay. Can you also forward me a screenshot of that email? I was like, what? Like I'm fabricating an email? Cool. Here you go. Done. And then she's like, well, we've escalated this. And I was like, cool. And she kept putting me on hold because I don't think they're allowed to have you on hold for more than 2-3 minutes at a time before they have to pick up the phone. So every 3 minutes for an hour and 3 minutes, it was like, thank you for holding. I'm so sorry for the delay. And I'm like, whatever, dude. I'm over here like sorting laundry and doing work and getting my stuff done. So it's fine. And all that. And then she was like, here, what we'll do is we'll credit you your whole Hulu balance next month. That way it'll make up for it. And I was like, nope, you can't do that because I already get credited from my credit card, right? I have like this deal on my Amex Platinum where if I put my Hulu plus Disney on my Amex Platinum, I get credited back the same amount that I get charged for it. So I have like this $19.99 plan that I get every year on Black Friday. And then I get charged $19.99 a month for Hulu plus Disney. And then my credit card credits me back for that $19.99 a month. So I was like, why would it help me out if you were like giving me my own money back? Like I already get credited for that. So you giving me that is not giving me anything. And so that's why I have to call back when it posts to get my $12.99 credited back. And then I can watch Showtime till the end of August so that I can catch up on Dexter Resurrection and then be done with it. Cause and she was like, she was like, oh, do you know if you call Paramount Plus, they've got some deals going on right now. And I was like, funny story. I already get Paramount Plus for free on another credit card that I have. So if I wanted to add Showtime, I would add it to that Paramount Plus account, not this one. But you guys sent me an offer for 99 cents. So I picked up the offer you sent me and now we've got to figure this out. Yeah, I'm cheap. Christopher, did you just say happy Tuesday? It's still Monday, isn't it? You're scaring me, dude. Hi, Justine. Hey, Dan, you got some mac and cheese bites? Good on ya. Mac and cheese is the best. Hi, Rodney. You're only in for a minute before you got to go to work. Mike. Oh, yeah. The party was definitely backstage. The party is usually backstage, right? I know. It was still super fun in the front of the stage, though, except for that whole like kerfuffle where some girl was like way aggro and she was knocking people down by the bar, like way outside the pit. And I'm just here to say that, listen, do not knock over your elder metalheads. Some of us are in our 50s and 60s and we could break a hip and you don't want to be on the hook for that because I will sue you. If you knock me over and I'm nowhere near the pit and I break a hip, girl, I'm suing you. Like for real. I'm also going to have that. We're also going to do things that make you uncomfortable. Plus she got kicked out. Justine, don't do AC mini splits. You have them where you are in your building and either they were installed wrong or they just suck. Either way, they cut out constantly. Oh, well, Justine, maybe you missed the part where I mentioned that my bestie is a contractor and he's the one who does all this stuff for me, bro deal wise, when he has the time. So, I mean, and when I say bro deal, I mean, he's a contractor who like does jobs up here and then I will get him to do my jobs down here. So I wait for him and he is really good at what he does. So there's no way he would tell me to get one if he wasn't 100% confident that it would be better than my regular HVAC right now. Hold on. I have to see if this person has gone after the active shooter. They just sent a picture. Please tell me you did not, girl. Okay. I actually saw Happy Gilmore this weekend and it was really good. Like not crazy really good, but way better than I expected it to be. It's a legit Adam Sandler sequel. And as far as these like decades later sequels go, I liked it. Okay, sorry. So Keith, he sounded better than last time you saw him. He had a chair on the stage, but he never sat down. He's walking very slow. I'm telling you, Don needs to just embrace the thing he's good at, which is just sitting down with an acoustic guitar, telling stories and playing songs. There's nothing wrong with that, man. It's good. Dan, the guardian angel of metal. I don't know if you'd call me that, but you're welcome to. Justine, you'll stop complaining. You saw my interview with Steph? Oh, thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Wow. It only came out this morning, so kudos for having watched it already. Um, Sean Keith Rogers. Oh, you heard he has a bassist that helps him with the singing, but makes it so much better. You know, Sean, I hope Don Dawkins does have somebody helping him with the singing, because when it comes to playing a show where you need to have that kind of vocal power to sing above electric instruments, some people need the help, and that's fine. You know, it's not unusual. It's kind of done a lot more than people think it is. Sorry. I told people I was on a live stream. They don't listen. Justine, Black Friday. That's adorable, but also Fridays are just so busy. I can't do Fridays. We've got extra work on the weekend, and even if I push some of that to Saturday, then I got to do it on Saturday. But also, I've been liking doing it on Saturday, but then we had some technical issues on Saturday and had to call the engineers on a Saturday. So I felt bad for that. So I'm going to be doing more on Fridays, even more on Fridays than I was. Hi, Kartik. Rodney, I'm frugal. You could say frugal, you could say cheap. IDGAF. I am not insulted by either, honestly. I mean, people are always asking me, how can you afford to go to all these shows? How can you afford to go to these concerts? And I'm like, well, it ain't easy. Let me tell you, I got some tips and tricks for you on how to save money and shift it from one place to another so that you can afford to do these things. And one of those is, I often know a guy, right? Like, I know a guy who I can stay with, or it doesn't, not necessarily a guy, but like, I know someone I can stay with. I know someone who knows what that is and can help me with it. Like, it's great to always have a network of people that can help you accomplish your goals, because that's what a community is. And we need more of that. Honestly, it's like people have just forgotten what it was like to have communities now, and everything's online, but you're too disjointed to really help each other out with anything other than memes. And not to devalue memes, because let's face it, they get us through. Hi, Kartik. Did I say hi already? I think I did. Justine, you had the best mac and cheese with lunch today. Crust on top. You haven't seen that in a minute? Ooh, if it doesn't have crust on top, I'm sus. Your mac and cheese should have something on top of it. It shouldn't just be like a congealed pasta. Christopher, yes, it is Monday. Dan, am I going to watch the reboot of King of the Hill? Maybe. I haven't gotten there yet. I kind of want to, but I'm not sure. But then I didn't really want to watch the new season of South Park, because I don't really get super into cartoons these days. Like, I just watched the preview for Avatar, the new Avatar, and I was like, looks like a cartoon. It looks like a big CGI cartoon. Nothing against it. It's just not for me. So often I get really like irritated with cartoons these days. I don't know why. Maybe because I'm not high. I used to get stoned a lot and watch cartoons, and now I haven't been stoned in so long. I think it made me not like cartoons. I should probably just get high. I should have got high this weekend and watched a bunch of cartoons, and then I'd have been all caught up on King of the Hill. But I did watch the new South Park episode, and I was like, oh my God. Yeah. And I think Gorman and I talk about this too. Our new episode of The Black Room drops tomorrow. And one of the things we talk about is how I hope Trey Parker and Matt Parker and Trey Parker and Matt Stone, whatever it is. I hope those guys have beefed up their security, both cybersecurity and personal security. Like, might be a good time to take a vacation outside the country. Just saying, because wow, that South Park episode. Oh, snap. Mandy, you got to go. You're getting a new shed. Oh, cleaning out a shed is a real pain. My sister took care of it at my mom's house, and there aren't words. There just aren't words. She had to bring so many hazardous waste materials to the hazardous waste drop-off point. It was like multiple truckloads. It was crazy. Yeah, people, clean out your sheds. You never know when they're going to blow up. Kartik, if I ever have plumbing issues, I could always call Tony Campos. Oh, that's right. Yeah, but Tony's too far away from me, really. I actually do know multiple plumbers, believe it or not. Most of the plumbers I know don't live anywhere near me, but fortunately, knock wood, I haven't had any plumbing issues since my contractor bro redid the bathrooms. So, but he's got guys that work for him that live a lot closer to me. So, worst case scenario, like if I was ever in an emergency situation, he could send one of them over. And they know not to mess with my stuff because they know to take care of me, because if they don't, you know, they've got hell to pay from him. Rodney, there was one in New York this morning. He offed himself. Oh, did he? Yeah, that my friend that I was talking to was in New York. Oh, well, have a good night at work, Rodney. It's good to see you. Justine, did I miss something? I see mac and cheese, and then I see you hate typos. Did I miss something, Justine? Cardiac Docket is great. You love 80s glam metal as well as 80s thrash. Same Z's. You know, I'm finally at a point in my life where I'm comfortable admitting both of those things. But I got to be honest with you, growing up in the 80s, you really had to hide one or the other, because you could not just like hang out with a bunch of people who were into thrash and like mention anything glam. It was a whole situation. You just couldn't. People would actually assault you for it. Justine, I mentioned that when I get deals on Black Friday. You know what's funny is we used to even though Black Friday was a holiday, I would sometimes do a live shift on Black Friday and then do giveaways all day to make it like a fun Black Friday. But we haven't done that for a while. We'll have to see if we get something worth giving away. I've always told the sales department, like, if you've got something fun that we can like turn into a Black Friday giveaway, I'll be on live all day and do Black Friday giveaways. But we haven't had any lately. Although actually now I wouldn't have to, because I could do it from the home studio. I mean, it would still be live, but it would just be live from home, which would be so much easier than me having to go to the office on a day off. Hi, Brad. Hey, James. James, I'm extra pretty today. Thanks. Hi, Mike. Good to see you too. Cardiac mac and cheese has to have some heat to it. You love it spicy. I like Cholula on my mac and cheese, not gonna lie. Hi, Brian. Is PJ around? He barely taps in anymore. I think he doesn't get enough attention, so he doesn't stick around. Justine, you want to see Lilo and Stitch? Good on ya. Not my taste. How's PJ's workout going? Are you just going to keep talking to him until he turns up, or has he turned up and I haven't gotten there yet? Mandy, you have a few words. Humongous Black Widow spider. Ooh. Well, I kind of live with Black Widows all over the place around here because I've got all these big redwood trees, and they just live so that they already like, it's like that scene in Harry Potter where they drive the little car into the spiders thing, and it's like, they're everywhere. Or it's more like arachnophobia. It's very arachnophobia at the base of every redwood tree in my yard. And then pretty much anywhere that there's like any sort of dark space, there's going to be a Black Widow. I just automatically know it. Like I cannot garden without like gloves ever. I have to have gloves and closed-toed shoes because Black Widows. Hi, Johnny. You inquired about my live stream earlier, and here it is. We're doing it. Justine, you said a word that didn't make sense with what you were saying, so you changed it externally. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I must have missed the origin of it. Johnny, you're signed in as Johnny O, so I might get your name right. All right. I think if your name is Johnny, we are getting it right. Kardik, what's weird is at glam metal shows, there were plenty of dudes with Metallica or Slayer shirts. Yeah, I think those were the dudes that were there who liked the music but wanted to pretend they were there to pick up chicks. and they were afraid to admit that they were there because they liked the music. So they showed up in a Metallica shirt to be like, yeah, dude, I'm still tough. The 80s Gen X was just chock full of ego and attitude because we were kids who raised ourselves and we weren't given the additional parental attention required to build up a sense of self that didn't require massive ego. So we are just always going to be those people to some degree. Brad, you're going to watch GOT for the third time. I love Game of Thrones, not gonna lie. I mean, I watched the whole series start to finish, and then I read all the books start to finish, and then I watched House of Dragon, which BT dubs season 2. Anyone at all? Some point they keep saying it's coming. Like, oh boy, what is this? Hi, Victor. How's things in Puerto Rico? I'm always worried about Puerto Rico as an island because of all the extreme weather we've got going on out there. Well, the Raiders tickets absolutely would have worked. Sorry. Talking about the active shooter. Turned out he was from Las Vegas. We were joking about how you could just go down there and never mind. Brian, he's around. He's just working out. God, I am trying to get more workouts in. And so far, I've gotten in like a collective 30 minutes on the treadmill and like 30 minutes of yoga. And that's it. I am going to have to like stop and get a few minutes of like weightlifting in there too. Oh, he is here, Brian? Why is he being all cagey and hiding out? I haven't seen a single thing from him. Oh, he tapped in. Hi, Zachary. How's things in Arizona? Oh, it must be so hot out there. It's like 82 in Concord today. And I was all, this is what made me think about getting the power, really getting my grid upgraded because I had the power popped out for a second today. I was like running the AC and I may or may not have had some other things on. And then all of a sudden power dropped and I'm all, whoops. So I went and turned everything else off to make sure I could. Sorry. They do not care that I'm trying to do this live stream. Oh, Johnny, it's Johnny O. I have to say Johnny O. Whenever I say Johnny, I can't just say Johnny. I have to say Johnny O. Dude, get over yourself. I'll say what I want to say. Or I could just not say anything. I could just skip right over it. And then it wouldn't matter at all, would it? Keith, those are where the guys who got the Poison record because the hot chick's on the cover. Yeah, that's a great meme. It's like I was masturbating to Poison for 6 months before I realized they were dudes, and then for 3 months after. Cardic, Disposable Heroes is easily one of Metallica's best songs. Yes, it is. I played it on the Metal Zone on Saturday. Did you catch that? You don't like being called Johnny O? You don't like being called Johnny? The O is for your last. Oh, all right. Well, you know what, dude? I'm already way over what you want to be called. I could just skip right through this. It's really distracting to have to talk about you and your name while I'm like talking to everyone. Dan, at least it's not 100 plus. I know. That's why I'm worried about our brother in Arizona, because I think it is like 100 plus out there right now, isn't it? See, Victor says it's super hot. There's Zachary. He just says fire emojis. Fire emojis, cactus, other burning emojis. I can't tell. Drake, you've never watched Game of Thrones? Oh, you started to read the first book, but you didn't continue with it, and you like to read. You need to watch it, and definitely will probably enjoy the books. Just need to sit down and do it. I will tell you this right now. Game of Thrones is one of the very rare occasions where the series is better than the books. George R.R. Martin gets a lot of credit because he comes out of the gate strong in these books early on and then kind of like dies off. And the prequel books are just garbage. Like, I literally listened to those prequel books during the pandemic while painting my kitchen, and they were still boring, right? Like, so still read the books because there's like a whole there are whole storylines in the books that are left out of the TV show, but the TV show is just bang on. It's really good. Hi, Esme. How are you? Zachary, do I think Abbott will return to Immortal? I mean, do they have an anniversary coming up? I hate to be all like, it's about the money, but to quote Bill Graham, it's not about the money, it's about the money. And typically people leave a band because money. And then typically people rejoin a band because money. So I don't know what the money situation is for Immortal, but if somebody is out there making an offer for them to have a tour with original members that they all kind of need, that tends to grease the wheels for reunion. Kardik, you should have. At work, you love listening to metal or listening to reviews of shitty movies. The nostalgic critic. I don't really listen to movie reviews. I mean, I kind of will catch a headline here or there just so I can see if something's supposed to be good or not. But I really wait. Either I'll see something on preview, or it'll be something that I already know is a franchise or has an actor or a director that I know is going to be good. And if not, then I wait until like cable. Really, can we call it cable anymore? I feel like I just called the couch the Davenport if I said cable. Stuff that used to make sense and now is irrelevant. Nobody has cable anymore. Game of Thrones is metal. Yeah, it is. It literally has Mastodon in it. Still one of the most amazing things ever. Like, I did not know those guys were going to be in an episode at all until I think it was in the previews for the week before, and I was like, that looks a lot like the guy from Mastodon. How crazy! And then I read that it was them, and I was like, what? Hi, Sane. Welcome back. Kardik, the Harry Potter books are miles ahead of the movie. Are they? I don't know. How far did I get in the books? I've got them here somewhere. Where are they? I don't know. I got I think I got to book 4 or 5 on the Harry Potter books, and they felt like identical to the movies. So I kind of got tired of reading them because it was like, oh, this is exactly like the movie. Like, there's almost no difference. It's almost like that time I read the Back to the Future book, and I was like, oh, clearly they wrote this book off the screenplay because it's exactly the same. Saying you're tracking guitars tonight. Good on ya. No, don't worry about being late getting in. I mean, I've only been here for a half an hour myself. Kardik Double Toasted is another channel. I don't know what Double Toasted is. Oh, is this like a YouTube channel that you like to watch? Yeah, I honestly don't watch a lot of, ironically, I don't listen to a lot of podcasts and I don't watch a lot of live streams, even though I have a podcast and I have a live stream. I am also on the radio and I don't listen to the radio a lot anymore. It's weird. I used to exclusively listen to the radio. I grew up only listening to the radio because that was all I had, was like a little clock radio. But now I am mostly like so deep in audiobooks. That's where my jam is now, right? I'm just like books. It's kind of like when I was a kid. I used to be like super into books because you could get them for free, and I was poor, and the library was a thing. And now I'm kind of that exact same kid again. Even though, I mean, I do have like a jillion streaming channels. I mean, I'm getting Hulu and Disney Plus for $19.99 a month that gets credited back on my Amex. I have options. I really do. I just, I don't know. I've been like super deep in the books lately. Go figure. Johnny, oh, you just realized I was at home? Yes, I am. This is the home studio. Oh, welcome. The live stream is starting mostly in the 6 o'clock hour now because I have to transmit everything that I'm going to say on the radio has to transmit from here to the servers in Atlanta, Georgia. And then from Atlanta, Georgia, it has to go to the studio in Daly City. And then from the studio in Daly City, it has to go to the transmitter in Redwood City, which is, I believe, how it's going to go. But I'm not 100% sure. There might be some other ways that the signal gets bounced around, but that's the basics of it. So that's why I have time to do this like live stream for a bit, because there's an hour where I was normally going to be waiting to talk on the air. And instead I have to say what I was going to say a little bit earlier so that it happens later. I mean, I suppose I could just like F off and like do something else. But you guys really seem to like this. And so I'm trying it out. So if you guys keep showing up, I'll keep showing up. And if you stop showing up, I'll go start pulling weeds, because there's still more weeds to pull. Oh my God, you guys should have seen this thing I pulled out of the yard. It was like the craziest weed thing I've ever seen. It's these green, it's like green puffball flowers, but they're also very spiky. There's like spikes sticking up out of the flower of the puffball thing. And the puffball just like rains more seeds down on everything. And it grew in the front of my yard. I wasn't paying any attention because I'm so focused on the backyard and the garden that I never walked out front. And it was, I had to dig it up. And I'm not kidding you. It was bigger than my head. Like, it was hard to carry. It was like a 20-pound plant that I had, like weed plant that had just, oh my, it was insane. You almost literally couldn't walk on my sidewalk out in front of my house. Like, but we cleaned that up this weekend. So yay. Saying reunions with original members, there's usually a promoter putting money to make. Yes, that's exactly what it is. There's a promoter who's like, I can make money on this. I'm offering you guys X amount of dollars. Let's do something. Except Skid Row, where, let's be honest, like I get the impression that because Rachel, I want to say Rachel Bolan, but it's not. It's what's his name? Is it Rachel Bolan? Anyway, because they were such good friends with Bon Jovi, right? And then Bon Jovi took a percentage of the band in the early days and then gave them back that percentage. I think they were in a place where they were able to see what Bon Jovi did and make really smart decisions in the way back when they made a whole lot of money. And that's the thing, right? Somebody's got to offer you more money than you need, like than you have. That, like, there has to be an incentive there for it. And apparently Skid Row's doing just fine. And there is no amount of money that they want to, there's no amount of money you can give them to make them want to go out on the road with Sebastian Bach. And I have a love-hate relationship with Sebastian Bach. I mean, he's been a great guy and he's been a real pain in the ass. And I've been around him a bunch of times, but it's not like we're friends. I mean, I did catch the bouquet at his wedding. Fair point to that. But yeah, that's just my impressions of him and them. I know other, like, we're like 2 degrees of separation. I know people who know them better than I do. And most of my friends are not terrible gossips, so I don't hear a ton of information, but I do hear some. And I can't imagine anyone in Skid Row ever wanting to deal with Sebastian. And I can't imagine Sebastian ever changing significantly enough to be someone that they want to have a show with. And that says a lot, right? I mean, I remember at one point there was a rumor that Sharon Osbourne offered Max and Igor Cavalera a ridiculous amount of money for Sepultura to play the side stage at Ozfest. And the rumor goes that Igor was like, no, like he was so mad at Max and Gloria that there was no way he was gonna, for no amount of money, whatsoever. And now they're all good. Now they tour together anyway. Now they've made up, but there's no Ozfest money. So sorry, guys. I'll bet you in hindsight, he's probably like, damn, should have taken that Ozfest money. But, we all make mistakes, right? We all write checks that our egos won't cash. Hi, Marty. Aloha. How is Honolulu? I'll bet you it's gorgeous there right now. Walter, books are better than movies. In general, absolutely, Walter. The books are almost always better than the movies. That's why I was saying Game of Thrones, I think, is the rare occasion where the series is better than the books. And he does do well out the gate with the books. The first couple books are really good. The second couple books start to wane. And then you can tell he just had checked out by the end. And clearly he has checked out, because that man will do anything other than write those last two books or that last book or one more book, because the ending to Game of Thrones was so universally panned. Like, everybody was so pissed at that whole last season. They're like, seriously, this is where you were going to go with that? That my theory is that was the end of the book. That is how George Martin was going to write it. And George R.R. Martin saw how much everybody hated it and was like, well, I'm not writing it over again. And I'll bet you he's just going to he's probably got it mostly written. And what's going to happen is after he dies, they're going to ghostwrite it and put it out. And we're all just going to be like, nobody's going to care at that point. I mean, honestly, does anybody care now? I think at this point, we're all like, 118 degrees in Arizona, Zachary. Oh my God. See, it's not just my liberal bubble here in the Bay Area. It's the weather. That is why I will never move. I will never move from this glorious place I call home for so many reasons, but that's definitely one of them. Sane, remember to smash the shit out of the like button on your way in. Aw, thank you. It does help the algorithms. I am terrible at self-promotion, so I should probably get better at it. For people who asked, I did look, and there is like a give me money link at the bottom of the page. I don't know if anybody saw my I put it in stories on Instagram and Facebook, where I'm making that sweet social media influencer cash. I made $6 from Meta last month, you guys. $6. Move it in. So yeah. So if you're watching on Facebook, there's a subscription button, which is like literally 99 cents a month. And StreamYard is costing me $500. So if I make back what I put in, I'm good. I appreciate it. And if not, then I'll just spend another hour on the phone with Hulu arguing to get back my $12.99. Because yeah, if you missed that, you missed it. Kartik, oh, it is a YouTube channel. Okay. John, you sell comics and you no longer read them. Aw. It's weird when you kind of like just overdose on something. Like, I used to listen to the Ramones every single day, and now it's like a rarity when I do. I still absolutely love them as much as I always have. It's just not what I'm craving for some reason at the moment. It's like food changes, you just kind of get into something and then you want that all the time, and you completely forget how much you used to love macaroni salad. It's weird. Kartik, you're not lost when I say cable. Oh, well, cable only went away about 10 years ago, but cable is gone now. It's all streaming, and the only cable is the internet cable, the HDMI. And even that is like, everything's on Wi-Fi now. Walter, Drake Sorensen, you got to read the books. They're so much more immersive and detailed and a little different than this series. Drake Sorensen. What series are we talking about here? I am trying to look it up here. Drake Soren. Drake Sore Loser is like what has popped up. How do you spell it? SOREN. SOREN. Is it Derek Sorensen? Because that's what's coming up for some reason. Come on. Don't you love it when Google tells you what you probably want and you're like, did I stutter, bitch? Drake Sorensen. Walter, the internet is literally giving me nothing. It's all just like randos named Drake Sorensen. You're gonna have to text me that, Walter, who you're talking about, because I will do it. If his books are at the library, I will check them out. Dan, you're watching a lot of YouTube videos on Route 66. You want to go on that route one day? Oh, yeah. I mean, technically, they've changed the name, but you can still find out where it used to be. And I think now they've got historic markers, right? It's like historically, this was Route 66 or whatever. Victor, what's my favorite book of all time? Oh, God. I don't think I've got a favorite. I'm terrible with favorites, but I am like a crazy person when it comes to a good series. So if I catch a series, I will read the whole series like immediately. Like it'll be like a stop drop and nothing else but reading that series. And then I'll go after if there's an author where I liked something that they did, I'll just go and read everything that they've ever done. Tana French comes to mind. She does the Dublin Murder Squad series. They made a TV show out of it I think it was called Dublin Murder Squad. And she has this book called The Witch Elm that was kind of like my gateway book because it was outside the series, but it did tangentially contain some characters from the murder series. And so as soon as I read The Witch Elm and I really dug it, I went back and read every book she ever wrote up until the new one, which just came out last year, which is, it's not Murder Squad, but it's a continuation of another character series that she's opened up. But that would be one example. I don't know. Give me a genre, maybe narrow it down. Like who was my favorite biography? I love that book right there, An American Band, The Ramones, because that was the first comprehensive Ramones book I ever got. Randy Blythe's first book. Don't get me wrong. The new book, Just Beyond the Light, also excellent. But his first book, which was Dark Days, right? Yeah, Dark Days was epic. I mean, it made me cry. Just that whole journey, because probably partly because I remember feeling so involved in the case as it happened. And it being so unprecedented, not just in every aspect of that legal case, but just unprecedented in metal. It was just so monumental. What else? Oh, Rob Halford's autobiography. Oh my God. After reading it, I just was like, why couldn't I have met Rob Halford in the 70s and given him like a hug every day and been like, it's okay. You are loved. Because, growing up a gay man in Birmingham, England in the 60s, 70s, and then being in, one of the biggest metal bands in the 80s, and being in the closet that whole time was clearly like something that really just hurt him on a minute by minute basis. And it just hurt my heart that something so that we know now is so trivial. Back then everybody was like, oh my God, the gays, and now we're like, stop it, the gays, and to think that there are still people like that, not just out in the world, but here in the US, like, can we please just get past that? It is embarrassing as a society that we are still that far behind. So I don't know. Does that help, Victor? If you get more specific on books, I could probably give you some more accurate information. Brad, it's in all apps, can be boring because it's repetitive, subtle differences between them, just enough to make us pay for another. Are you talking about episodes on the books or the apps? I'm not sure what you mean, Brad. Justine, why wouldn't it transmit from Redwood City to the studios in Daly City? I'm not sure I'm not sure what the order is, but logically to me, it makes sense that, why can't I just go straight from here to Redwood City and transmit? Wouldn't that be awesome? That would be super cool, right? Like that would be so, I don't know, logical, but no, everything has to go to Atlanta first. And no one can tell me why. It's just, it has to. I'm sure that the engineers would tell me why if I asked them. They would say, okay, well, it's because of, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of like proprietary software server room that they've got there that they need to have control of everything. I don't know. I do not know for sure. And I don't want to speculate why, but it sure would be super cool if I could just transmit straight from my home studio to the transmitter. But something apparently has to happen in between where it's got to go to Atlanta and then Redwood City and then Daly City and quite possibly back to Redwood City at that point. I'm not sure. If I remember correctly, I think that there's like a bounce between Redwood City and Daly City, and that takes time. And we just want to be careful that, because if I don't give it enough time, then what I've said just won't happen. And it'll go from song to song and nobody will ever know I was there. Hi, Chew. You know, Chew, you used to always be the first one in, and I still love that you are here. Don't get me wrong, but I have noticed that you're running late sometimes. What's going on? I hope you're okay. Victor, you keep showing up. Oh, thank you. Well, I'm glad you guys like the live streams. I'll keep doing it. Oh, Drake, you're actually a person. Were you talking to Drake, Walter? And that's why I couldn't figure out. I thought you were recommending an author, but you were making a recommendation to Drake. And I was like trying to Google him. Like I thought he was an author, and no one told me. You all just watched me sit here and try to Google him. Oh, that's amazing. All right. Justine, Sebastian Bach. Yeah. Rachel and Snake have a major problem with Sebastian Bach. Yeah. Oh, yeah. You think? Yeah. And I think to some degree, vice versa. And is it Rachel Bolan and Snake Sabo? Okay. That's what I was trying. My brain was not giving me a confident answer. And then yeah, I'm not down with Sebastian. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, he's just one of those people that has run hot and cold with me. Sometimes I've been around him and he's just been lovely. And other times I've been around him and he's just been wholly obnoxious and unbearable. So depending on which Sebastian Bach you get that day, you know, and I don't have to share a stage with the guy. So, and like I said, those guys in Skid Row, they made a lot of money. They're probably doing fine. And they do not want anything to do with Sebastian. And, you know, they're Jersey boys. They hold a grudge. The grudge meisters, you know, I would be shocked if they ever bothered with Sebastian Bach ever again. I would be wholly shocked, but you know, it's not my beef. Keith on the cruise, he was standoffish to most peeps. You know what? This is the funny thing, right? There was the one time, he's been on the cruise a few times, like 2-3 times. And one time when he was on the cruise, everywhere you went, there was like somebody going, why was Sebastian such a jerk? Like every time I would walk by people, they'd be like, Sebastian was just here and he's such a jerk. And he was just like, he was a dick to people, and people remember that. And we were all like, okay, thanks, Baz, for being a dick. Another time he was best man at Chips It Up's wedding, and I was a bridesmaid, and He was very nice to everyone. Then he also took the microphone and gave himself a 30-minute speech instead of giving a speech for the bride and groom. The guy, Baz gone Baz. You either hop on for the ride or you hop off. And I make that decision in the moment because sometimes it's great and sometimes it's not. Dan, if I had a sandwich named after me, what would be the ingredients? What? I don't know. That is a tough, tough choice. I love so many sandwiches. Sandwiches are one of my favorite foods of all time. I don't know if I could ever choose. It would be, I don't know. Would definitely have avocado and mayonnaise and rye bread. I probably would put all my favorite things on there. Like Havarti cheese, and the meat choice would be tough. Sometimes I'm like really over meat in a sandwich, but sometimes I'm not. I guess it would be like a roast turkey. It would be like a roast turkey with avocado, sprouts, mayonnaise, purple onions, tomatoes, pickles. I also love a good Reuben. I love sandwiches. Honestly, it's hard to find a sandwich I don't like. Unless you've put horseradish on it, in which case, GTFO. I don't do horseradish. And I don't do brown mustard. No brown mustard. Tastes like horseradish to me. Timothy, you were sad that Eric couldn't stay on as the singer of Skid Row for health reasons. He was so perfect for them. Yeah, he was. I also have to wonder if there wasn't some other reason. Because, I don't know. Maybe it was just health reasons. I don't know. My spider sense was like tingling on that one. It did the timing and everything. It just seemed a little sus. Justine, you jumped the gun saying Sebastian Bach. Okay. John, truth be told, even if Sebastian rejoined Skid Row, they would still be playing the same size venues. I don't think so. But I do think that they would be playing venues that would not be so much bigger as to make it worthwhile, right? If someone comes up to you and says, you can make X touring on your own without having to deal with anyone else, right? Because when Sebastian becomes part of it, next thing you know, you've got 2 managers, 2 booking agents, 2 PR companies, and it's just a whole other layer of stuff that nobody wants to deal with and people that need to approve things. And it just slows everything down. And there's just not enough money there, right? If I say, I'm going to pay you and your band X to go on tour, or I could pay you X plus 20%, but you've got to bring this guy with you and he's going to bring with him his drama, his issues, his requirements, his manager, his, whoever else is involved with him. He might have a manager and a tour manager and an agent. And, I'm going to bring all of this too, but you'll make 20% more than you would if you just did it on your own. Like, what's that number is the question. And I think that if Skid Row got back together with Sebastian Bach, they would either be like an opener on a big tour, like Poison did, like Cheap Trick did with Def Leppard on the stadium tours. Or I think that they could pull theaters, and theaters is just not comfortable enough. I don't think they would make it to arenas is my guess. I don't think they would make it to headlining arenas. And if you're not going to make it from clubs to headlining arenas, I don't think that theater level is worth it to somebody at that age, right? When they could just as easily stay home and be happy. Or they could just tour on their own and do their own club dates on their own terms and just make less money, but have all the control. I think that's where it really comes down to. Saying Eric did a phenomenal job for Skid Row and the producer did a great job making that last record. Absolutely. Yeah. I love Skid Row. Don't get me wrong. They're great guys and they're a great band. We were supposed to have them on the cruise and then they had to cancel last minute. And I know why, but I don't know if I'm supposed to know why. So I can't really say, but it was a bummer when they canceled. Johnny, oh, you thought the Maximilian family feud was ongoing. That's good to hear. I don't know what the Maximilian family feud is. Marty, definitely you're driving on the airfield at your job at Honolulu Airport. Nice. Brad, you've never read fiction? And you have over 300 books considered a private library. You're what we call a book dragon. You hoard your books. I don't understand the criticism of people who read fiction versus nonfiction. I don't see a real difference, especially if some of your nonfiction isn't really super educational. I mean, I guess it's all educational at some point, but I also just like a really good story with some well-developed characters. We pay for our weather. That's why it's so expensive. Oh yeah, absolutely. We pay for a lot of things here, that make it so expensive and worth it. Drake, $6. Hey, latte. What is the $6 thing? What did I miss? By the way, did I tell you I made this amazing latte today? Oh, holy crackers. Let me see. Oh, gods, why am I getting... Oh, wow, it's already 7:15. I'm showing you my killer latte that I made today because it is special. What? Look at this. Look at it. That is a cardamom iced latte. So I made cardamom simple syrup with crushed cardamom seed pods, and then I made 2 shots of espresso and steamed milk. And you've got to mix the espresso and the steamed milk like immediately. So I mixed the espresso with the steamed milk with the cardamom simple syrup. And then I put it in a icy cocktail shaker, shook the shit out of it, and then poured it over more ice because it was hot. And then foamed the top. And it was amazing. And it wasn't $6. It was so much cheaper than that. I don't know how. I would have to add up like what 3 cardamom pods and a half cup of sugar cost. And I have the syrup to use still, by the way. So it's, cardamom syrup for a couple of weeks. Zachary, you really want to see Legion return to Marduk and do a tour? Okay. I mean, it's hard to gauge. See, and here's the thing, right? What that all comes down to is how many people will buy tickets, how much money can be made per show, will it get booked? I don't know if Marduk can pull the numbers. I think they could play like 1,000 cap easily. Drake, did you see that I went to Ozzy's final performance? I did. I really did. And I have talked about it. I don't mind talking about it more. It was a really magical day. Everything just kind of fell into place. And it went by so fast. I was really lucky to get in my seat when I did. I had an incredible seat. And then I found out very quickly how hard it was to get to the bathroom because there was always a line and there was no way to get food or drinks without missing a band. So you had to start making choices real fast because they had a tight schedule and they were sticking to it. Fortunately for me, I knew what the schedule was. I had a couple of friends who had the updated schedule and they sent it to me, and it was really like 10-minute turnaround times. And this was like the top tier of professional concert people. I mean, they made everything happen like clockwork. It was amazing to watch from an industry standpoint on top of the fan standpoint. And so I just did the best I could to like film what I could and upload it as fast as I could. And then the Wi-Fi went down after like 3 or 4 bands. And then I was like running outside during the changeover so that I could still upload something. And then running back inside to catch it. And I still didn't, I missed very little. And I had a really phenomenal seat. And everybody brought their A game. Like every single band on that bill showed up, and they showed up to just do the very best they could for Ozzy. And you could just feel it, you know, and it was just such a great vibe in the place of community and just everyone with just a deep love for Ozzy and a respect for the history. And that was just magical, you know, and I'll be the first person to tell you, I am jaded AF. Like I have been to a lot of things. I have seen a lot of concerts. I have had a lot of really privileged experiences in this business over the last 30 years. Oh my God. But yeah. And that show still just made me feel like a kid. And that is hard to do these days. But it worked at that one. And I've posted videos up on my Facebook and my Instagram. I should upload them to YouTube, and I'm sorry about that I haven't. I keep meaning to, and then, you know, distraction. Too many things to do. You know, I still got to work on the sidewalk out front. I mean, I've cleared a path, but all the cracks in the sidewalk have like weeds growing out of them that are really difficult to get rid of. It's really annoying. Kartik, it's good to take hiatus and then go back to them again. It was said that if you like punk, you had to hate metal and vice versa. You enjoy both. You're glad shitty music exists. It's fun to make fun of it. You know what, Kartik? Fortunately, here in the Bay Area, we actually have a strong punk and metal crossover. So even though there is definitely still kind of like like I would get side-eyed a lot at punk shows for being a metal chick. I would never get side-eyed at a metal show for being a punk chick. And that's probably because I was more of a metal chick that liked punk rock than I was a punk rock chick ever. And honestly, I felt like metal was my home community. And so even though I liked punk music, like I never got a mohawk. Still kind of regret that. I always said that if I ever get cancer, first thing I do is get a mohawk, like immediately. Knock wood that I don't do that, but still. Drake, you're not an author. Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I've caught up on that. Sorry. I missed the whole thing. Sane, what are some of the best live shows that I've ever seen? Oh, God, dude. I have literally seen thousands of concerts. Prince was always amazing every single time. Whether it was an arena or the Fillmore, Prince is just mind-blowing every time you see him. If I had to pick one, I would pick Prince. I could go on and on that one, though. There's been so many. It's really hard for me to choose. Justine, who is the scary face over my right shoulder? This one, Joey Ramone? That's Joey Ramone. That's the Wolverine popcorn bucket from Deadpool versus Wolverine. Did you mean your right, my left? This is Cliff Burton. This is a Kirk Von Hammett. So it's basically a Kirk Hammett caricature of a character that he kind of embodied for his like horror stuff that he does. And this is my Squindo guitar pick that he made for me when we did the event in San Francisco during the Metallica takeover. This is Joey Ramone. This is Johnny Ramone back here. I don't think you can see him from where you guys are. Yeah, I think that's all the things that could be the scary face that you're talking about. Dan, you like to read a lot of biographies? Me too. I really enjoy biographies. You know what was a surprisingly good biography? Franklin Delano Roosevelt. Who knew? If you get a chance to read it, he cheated on his wife. Spoiler alert. Sorry, I should have spoiler alerted that before I said he cheated on his wife. Hi, Jim. One of the greatest biographies you ever heard was Alan Alda's book. Okay. Never Have Your Dog Stuffed? What a weird title. Yeah, who doesn't love Hawkeye? Yeah, Alan Alda was really clever. I would not mind reading that. Brad, the streaming apps, most deaf. I'm not sure what that was in reference to, but I'm sure that's what we meant. Zachary, did I like the Armored Saint song in the Hellraiser 3 movie? That is going to be way too deep for me to recall. I'll be honest. I would have to listen to it again. Yeah, I probably only saw Hellraiser. I probably only saw Hellraisers Beyond 1 and 2 like once. Because, you know, the franchises tend to wane after a while, especially in horror in the 80s. Drake, you were trying to tell me that the comments can only come through so fast. Apparently. I can't read that name at all. Is that like some new kind of leet? Is that Greek? What is that? It just says, Nikki, I want to meet you, and I cannot read your name at all. And for that, I apologize. You can meet me all kinds of ways. I'm usually out at shows in the Bay Area all the time. So if you go to a Bay Area metal show, you got a pretty good chance of running into me. I host the Monsters of Rock cruise. So if you're ever on the Monsters of Rock cruise, you got a pretty good chance of running into me. Other than that, Drake, you were trying to respond via comment to let me know that you were a real person. Oh yeah, no, sorry. Yeah, that was hilarious though. Once I figured it out. Dan, you like French dips? Hi, Jacob. Do I have advice for weddings? You've noticed a lot of people getting married, had kids, and settled down before 30. You were not invited to the wedding. Well, if you weren't invited to the wedding, why do you need advice about weddings? Sometimes I like weddings. Sometimes I'm like, do I have to go to your wedding? I really think it depends on how much you like the family of the person's getting married. Dan, you hate mayonnaise? Sucks to be you. Sorry. Justine, there's a local place that makes the best grilled cheese you've ever had. I love grilled cheese. Oh my God. The sandwich named after me could be a grilled cheese. Oh, it would be a grilled cheese with tomatoes and mayonnaise and pickles. And probably caramelized onions. Yeah, that would be a good one. I told you, I love sandwiches, like all kinds of sandwiches. It's really hard to find a sandwich I don't love. Brad, you don't care what they say about Sebastian. He's got the vocals, man. Sometimes he does. Sometimes he could use a little help. Victor, thanks for the answer regarding the book. You'll definitely order Halford's biography. Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, you've been watching the past lives? You've been watching my past lives? Who was I in a past life, Victor? Sorry. Terrible pun, I know. I also mentioned him as my favorite interview. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, Jesus. Plus, Rob Halford was one of my very first interviews live on the radio, back when you could still interview someone live on the radio. Nowadays, we don't have that luxury because people are so quick to change the station, which is ironic because people are not quick to change the video. People are like listening to, or people are not quick to change the podcast. People are listening to podcasts for hours on end. Like, dude, we've been sitting here talking for an hour and 15 minutes. Which actually means I should probably wrap it up here pretty soon, huh? Max Sepultura. Yes. That's what I said, right? Max and Igor and Sepultura. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. John, that was your point. With or without Baz, Skid Row are playing clubs and casinos. Now, if Skid Row can convince Lizzie to tour with them, that would be a game changer. I still don't think it would be enough of a game changer, honestly. Plus, you know, I mean, like, Hailstorm is opening for Volbeat in what we call sheds in the industry, which you call amphitheaters, right? So if you put Lizzie Hale in front of Skid Row, they're still not playing arenas. The difference between selling 1,000 tickets and 5,000 tickets and 10,000 tickets is what we're talking about here, right? And I think that Skid Row is selling 1,000 tickets. And I think that if they had Lizzie Hale, they might sell 2,000 tickets. They would also have to bring on Lizzie's management, and pay her a significant amount of the money, and her PR and her booking agent, and everybody's schedules would have to align. And suddenly, you know, like I said, you're making 20% more money for 100% more hassle. And it just doesn't make sense for either of them. It was great that they were able to do those handful of shows that they did, but that was fun for them, right? So it was worth it to make it happen at that point, but it's not worth it as a long-term investment for any of them. As much as I would like to have seen it, I think it would be great. Brad, you like that term, book dragon? BT dubs. If you start looking at, if you go to like Instagram or TikTok and do like book talk or bookstagram, you will get bombarded with book related memes. I'm telling you, it is nonstop. I have like my friends and my sister who we like go back and forth with book memes nonstop, and it's hilarious. There's a whole book culture out there. Just like the metal community, but it's books. Except they're very genre split, I've noticed. Kardik, random question, but who's my favorite Disney villain? I guess Maleficent. I was Maleficent for Halloween once. I liked her in the cartoon, and I liked her as Angelina Jolie. Cruella de Vil, though. Oh, Cruella de Vil. Talk about style. From the cartoon to Emma. What's her face? In the prequel TV show. A prequel movie. That was fantastic. And Cruella at the park. There have been a few times back in the day when, God, I miss Disney so much. Disney used to do these live broadcasts, and I'm not kidding. It was the most amazing thing. Disney flew me to Orange County, put me up in a Disney hotel, put a bunch of us radio DJs all on Main Street with our own little tables, and we all broadcast live from Main Street. And this happened multiple years in a row. Like one year we did it, it was Halloween time. Another year it was like an anniversary. One time I broadcast from the deck at Space Mountain. Like, it was amazing. That's how I got this guy. Where is he? If you can see back there, there's like a blue stuffed Mickey. I got the blue Mickey. Blue Mickey's in the house. Said what? Sorry, that was an inside joke from 15 years ago. Why would you get it? So loved doing that. And on the Main Street broadcast, it turned out to be the hottest day on record at the time. It was 113 degrees. And we were just all out there just melting because, afternoon drive. And Cruella de Vil comes out in the coat and the wig and the makeup and everything. And she looks perfect. And she is snatchy as hell. And it was amazing. And I had like this whole interaction with her. And she never once even came close to breaking character. And we're all just like in awe. Like, I don't know how she did it, but she was amazing. So there you go. Thanks, Brad. It was a nice latte. Timothy, the concert was amazing. Nuno always blows you away, but man, Youngblood's Freddie Mercury moment was jaw-dropping. Agreed. I mean, I adore Nuno Bettincourt on so many levels. Not only is he a very handsome man, very handsome man, he's also really smart. He's also very funny. He's got a sense of humor that I 100% appreciate in another person. And when you put all that together, he's just like, and he's very, what's the word? Benevolent? Like he's got a charitable nature when it comes to helping others. And he also gets a bad rap for his ego. And it's not like he doesn't have one. He does. He's earned it. But also, I have seen him like go off on people. But also I've seen him be very kind and very reasonable and very human. And I've always really appreciated him in general. So when I saw him at the Back to the Beginning concert, knowing that Wolfgang Van Halen had just dropped out a week before, and seeing how he basically became a utility player, right? Nuno Bettincourt, guitar virtuoso, was just a utility player. He plugged himself in and he took ego entirely out of the equation. He played amazingly, and you could tell he was out there, like not just paying homage to Ozzy and Black Sabbath and the beginnings of metal, but also in a way paying tribute to, you know, Randy. And I think he might have, I don't think he played a Jake song, but if, you know, but definitely paying tribute to Randy Rhoads and guitar players who came before him, and doing so without ego. And I don't think he gets credit when he does that. He definitely gets hit every time he has a tantrum. You know, if he has any kind of rock star moment where he yells about something, everybody's like, oh, Nuno, that guy's a dick, you know. But it's like, okay, but is he? Because he did just show up and take on extra guitar duties because Wolfgang, you know, wasn't able to make it. And he did an amazing job. And you almost wouldn't even know he was there because he wasn't like Nuno Bettincourt, you know, he wasn't like running up the ego ramp with every solo. He was there to do a job, and he did a great job, and he did it with all sincerity. And I appreciate that personally. And then, yeah, I had no idea who Youngblood was, but he 100% brought it. And it sounds like he's going to make changes, his staple song going forward. And I think that is really sweet. And honestly, we needed, pardon the pun, some young blood on the show. It was a lot of older people. And I'm glad that happens. Tony, hey, we were talking about your book earlier. Where you been? Do I think that the streaming tickets concert thing will become a thing for those of us who want to headbang at home? Oh, absolutely. Yeah. The problem with the streaming concerts is that they're expensive. They are not easy to produce. They are not easy to get the rights to. They require a substantial amount of ROI to be worthwhile, right? So you're never going to get a streaming concert for a show that wouldn't have already, that doesn't have a substantial amount of people streaming it. That said, Death Angel has done a live stream for the Another Christmas show in the past, and I might have to ask them what that break-even number is. They would know better than I would. It's not impossible though, Tony. I mean, I think it's absolutely going to become more, as it becomes more accessible and more affordable, it's going to become very much more a thing, especially with how much concert tickets are these days. It's outrageous. But Mandy and I were talking about your book. My friend Mandy just bought your book about Fairfield crimes. And I was curious what crimes did you pick a handful of crimes? Is it like a lot? Like how many, or did you hyper focus on just a few crimes, or is it like a lot of classic crimes that happened in Fairfield? I'm like super curious. I should probably just get your book, but if you don't mind giving me like a little synopsis, that would be cool. And by the way, everyone, say hi to Tony Wade. He's the author that Mandy and I were talking about at the beginning of the live stream. And he also did a very, very lovely profile on me for the Daily Republic, which is my hometown newspaper. John, I should write a combo book about my radio stories, a cookbook combo book about my radio stories. You need my latte and my tzatziki recipes. You know what, John? It's funny because at Metallica, I ran into Achilles, who was one of my interns. And as you could tell, he's Greek. And one of the first things, and I met his wife, and I was just super happy to see one of my interns doing well. I mean, I still keep in touch with a lot of them, so I know a lot of them are doing well. And that was one of the first things I said to him was like, dude, I got a killer tzatziki recipe. I would love to come talk to the family about some more. And I'm actually going to make some tzatziki once I get off of here because I just made Greek chicken today. I did not take pictures of that though. But I'll tell you what, John, it is my goal, and you guys can hold me to this. I do want to do an online series of like rockstar recipes, because I have started stumbling across like dishes and recipes that have been reported on over the years that were favorites of rock stars. And I thought, how much fun would it be if I could take the time? I got to figure out the setup, right? Like I've got to have to figure out like the tripod camera angle, and then and then I think it should be pretty easy for me to put it all together and edit it. But I want to start putting out episodes of like rockstar recipes that I make. And then I'll probably try and talk about it while I'm cooking, but it'll probably have to be a narration because I don't want to burn anything. But yeah, that is so. And then maybe from that, I could make a cookbook. But all of that depends on, time and money. But that is my goal. That is a goal that I've got. Especially if I can get the garden together, go out back and start picking stuff to cook. I love doing that. Mike, isn't Papa Roach punk to a degree? Maybe. I mean, there's an argument to be made. I'm not going to make it, but there's an argument to be made. Maybe another day I will make it. Ask me again. I'll probably have more to say on it. But right now, the sun is going down. Hey, big guy. Sun's mighty low. Justine, you saw Prince twice? Nice. I worked every show Prince played at the Fillmore. And that was super special to me. Joseph, you are a recent sub. Wow, thank you, sir. Enjoy the channel. Cheers from Nova Scotia. I love how many Canadians are here. It's so great. Justine, the picture to my right. Oh, this was a birthday present from my best friend, Jen. And it is Deborah Harry. Is this the picture you're talking about? Because that's my left. This is my right. Is this the picture you're talking about? This is a Jason Edmonston print. He does a whole massive series called Eyes Without a Face. And this one is obviously Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. And I met Jason at Comic-Con. And he was a friend of a friend. And we just kind of became friends. And he's Canadian too. So all my Canadians, what? And Jason does a lot of superhero art. He's one of those guys that is licensed to do certain, there's like a whole world of licensing out there where original artists are licensed to do commercial work under certain circumstances, like say He-Man is coming out, say Super 7 is coming out with a line of He-Man figurines. They need the packaging to have He-Man specific art. They will have the licensing. They will have Jason do the art for the packaging. because he can do the licensing. Does that make sense? He has licensing to do. It's a complicated thing. I don't even understand it myself entirely. But yeah, Jason's on my I follow him on Instagram, but Jason Edmiston. Edmiston. Let me see if I'm spelling that right. Righteous dude, if you're into horror art or comic-based art, he's got like a great portfolio and he's an awesome dude. And like I said, he's a Canuck. Where is Jason's page? Jason. Is he one of those people that's not under his name and I've forgotten what his name is? There it is. So this guy, if you are looking for somebody cool to follow. And he probably was just at Comic-Con. I missed it this year, as you well know. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you all that stuff. But yeah, if you want to check him out, check him out. I recommend it. Oh, God, I hope I got that, whatever it was you were asking me, Justine. Evan, vinegar, salt, and a little bit of dish soap to get rid of the weeds. I know, but it's very annoying. Tony, you saw Merciful Fate in 1984 at the Kabuki Theater in San Francisco, and that was the first time you ever saw moshing. Although it wasn't, no, we didn't, right? We did not call it moshing. Like Anthrax, like pushed that on us. It was the pit, dude. You were taken aback because you thought it was slam dancing and you weren't a punk rocker. You know, it really was, right? And slam dancing was more of pogoing in the 70s. So I think that the West Coast kind of appropriated a combination of what was happening on the East Coast, and we just put it together in the pit and made it ours. And then Anthrax got really popular with Caught in a Mosh, and suddenly we had to call it a mosh pit. Brad, you like political biographies? Oh, well then, FDR, I recommend it. John, you think Tony was easy to pick out of the crowd? I'm going to leave that alone. Victor, grilled cheese with extra mayo, right? So good. Mike, liverwurst? Sometimes. Liverwurst is one of those things where, like, it's a fine line. Like pate, I prefer pate, but I also will enjoy some liverwurst, but it's tiny amounts, man. It can't be too much, you know? I mean, I'm not slapping big old circles of liverwurst across anything. What about Chipotle on grilled cheese? Dan, I don't know what you mean. Chipotle what? Like a Chipotle pepper or like a Chipotle spice on a grilled cheese? I don't know. Yes, you were taller than everyone else. Nice one, Tony. Emma Stone, yes, thank you. Cruella is great. Shere Khan scared you as a kid. Oh, yeah. From Jungle Book. That's true. Kardik, he's far from the Kipling book character. I didn't read the books, Jungle Book. Jim, spoiler alert for Alan Alda's book. It's called Don't Ever Have Your Dog Stuffed because as a kid, he had a beloved dog who, oh, that's creepy. Jacob, what's up, Tony? Oh, there you go. Does the Fairfield police chief know about these crimes? They're classic crimes, Jacob. So I am pretty sure that the police chief absolutely knows. Hey, Todd, how are you, bro? I miss you. Speaking of Monsters of Rock Cruise, Queensryche is on this year, right? Because you know how much I love to see you guys play. Also, I am a little pissed off that there's no San Francisco date. And I would just like to point out that you've got a little bit of time after your LA date before you go home for Christmas. You could, call SIP and play a show in San Francisco before you go. I think you know somebody who will help promote the shit out of it. Big Queensryche fan, just saying. but also love you and hugs to everybody. Tony, you covered a lot of crimes going back to Captain Waterman, who founded the city. Nice. Oh yeah, dude, I totes need to buy your book. Brad, you're from British Columbia, Canada. I love how the Canadians are like turning up. I don't know how you guys are finding me or why, but thank you. Jacob, you know District Attorney Krishna Abrams, who did not hire you to be a junior investigator. Oh, fair enough. Justine, yes, that's the picture. Oh, you think it's scary? Oh, just the eyes the eyes without a face. You think the eyes without a face is scary? You think the Wonder Woman eyes without a face is scary? You should see the villains he does. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you should look up Jason's page. Or not, because he will scare you. Okay, Walter talking to Drake. Now I understand. Oh, you're still talking about Game of Thrones books? Yeah, see, exactly. The first 3 books are great, and then it kind of goes, it starts to trickle downhill. And that's when I think the series really picks up and keeps it going. Justine, you're sorry for all the work you made me do. That's okay. Dan, the snake was creepy in Disney. Oh yeah, that snake was scary. Victor, you love the live streams? Oh, thank you. I try to be authentic, but I don't know how to not be. I mean, I suppose I could, but yeah, what good would it do me? It's too much effort. Cardic jalapenos and grilled cheese. Not mad at that at all. Dan, chipotle aioli on grilled cheese. Not a problem. Yeah. I already love mayonnaise. So aioli is just like fancy mayonnaise. I'm all in. Todd, you know. Did you see me angry comment on your Instagram when I saw you post the tour dates? I was like, oh, could you picture this face going, oh, how is there not a San Francisco date? You've turned me into that fan. You've turned me into that fan at every Q&A that is like, when are you going to play my town? How come you guys never play here? How come you guys never... You've made me that person. Oh. Todd, you want to contribute to my cookbook? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I want it to be I want it to be a web series first, but yeah, let's talk about a recipe. You're on the cruise, right? Oh, I guess that's not for a while though, huh? God, it seems like the cruise should be like in a couple of months, and it's not. It's like in 9 months. Oh, sad face. But yes, I love you. Again, hugs to all the guys. Let's talk. I'll shoot you a text. See what kind of recipes that we want to concoct. And maybe we'll do like a tandem cook. Oh, right? If you're home off tour with nothing better to do, we'll come up with something fun to cook, and you can cook for the missus, and I'll make something cool here, and we'll like make the same thing and see how it comes out or something. I don't know. I'm just riffing. Also, I don't know if you saw the latte I made earlier, but I'm a little caffeine high right now. Cardamom simple syrup, dude. So good. Yeah, John Ortiz, I am still on, but I am headed out, and I think I am all caught up on comments. So I think it is definitely time to go, because as I said, sun's getting mighty low. And that is my cue to, oh my God, it's 8? How is it 8? Jesus. Yes. Okay. I am definitely out of here. Thanks you guys for coming by and hanging out. Appreciate it. And I will try to do same thing tomorrow, 6-ish, etc.